Nice, nice, nice. Did you do you dish out for the premium or do you just yeah, that's what I was doing that too. It was yeah, let me get in here and take a look. at the wharf where there was a deck building yard or a shipbuilding yard. Um, and you just kind of walked up and started seeing things that just kind of seemed like somebody could do better, or looked like somebody was gonna, make a mistake. You essentially just walked onto a job site, picked up a hard hat, and started giving orders with a little clipboard. That's essentially what happened there. Very similar goings on with other goings or escapades in the merchant district. More kind of directing, like, hey, that stall was over there next to that vendor, and the clipped wing gull, that sign didn't go on upside down. I don't know why you're setting it up like that. And then you did also help the rebuilding efforts at Wescom and Co. As minimal as they needed direction, you still managed to sneak in there and earn some brownie points, and you've earned a little bit of a name as a competent job site foreman here on Iron Snapper. Now, whether or not you actually are, that's a completely different story. So that's what Jeff's been doing over the last week. Sadi, what have you been doing?
Okay, so Jeff's story prompted if you ever get a chance to look up a guy named Mac Gregor. Yeah, I know. Real person, was in history. Basically just went around and talked the biggest talk ever in fucking history. Got credit for so many other people's achievements. And then pulled the biggest fucking scam in human history. Literally convinced
Scotland?
so many fucking people that this country in South America existed and got them to throw. He literally got in equivalent today's money, 25 million pounds. He got this bank to invest in his fake country. The fake country thing was a little tragic, though. I mean, people actually got on boats and left and died, so that's kind of fucked up. But like, it still ends up getting totally pardoned. Runs the fucking same racket in France later on. Gets fucking acquitted from that. Like, even though they actually wanted to throw his ass in jail at one point for it. Yeah, crazy. Anyways, Gregor McGregor.
Clan
Saudi
is just
though.
a legacy of criminality, and I'm proud of it. Part of it too.
I mean, unless something really grabbed Saudi to like focus efforts in on the rebuilding, probably would have headed to Wescom and Co. And yeah, if it's damaged as it sounds like it was, direct their attention towards building and repairing, and then would bury themselves in their work. Otherwise, if an interaction or a request or something kind of grabbed her attention, the fact that other people needed help at this point would probably need to be brought to their attention, because they would just be so focused on these ideas in their head, which is like probably bursting, exploding, buzzing, and they're just like, I need to get this out. I need to work on it. I need to write it down, kind of thing.
Gotcha. In this time, so Wescom and Co. takes, I wouldn't say it's superficial damage, but it's enough to cause the secure nature of this job site. It's essentially a high fantasy skiff. It does take some superficial damage, but it's enough to kind of allow the outside world to get some peeks in, and that's kind of a no-no when it's super secret projects most of the time. You're with your newfound intelligence and your prowess, that was your unlocked potential essentially from Vox and the Six. You're able to help expedite the repairs along with Jeff's help. Jeff had some insight on things that you didn't think of initially that seemed kind of obvious, but as you thought about it, we're like, I didn't notice that before. In that time, Wescom & Co. is fully operational once again. And Millhouse asks you to give some insight on a project he's working on. He doesn't give the details, but he asks very minor vagaries about things like, how close your party works together and what's your general proximity at any given point with each other. Give me 2 intelligence checks. Just straight up intelligence checks. Okay.
Wow, I rolled a 2.
You're really hitting the outliers there.
Okay. So you give some insight, and it looks like he has some ideas on how to do things. And in the next couple days, you do see him kind of working on a project kind of in secret, not really letting you see what it is that he's doing. And after a couple days, he does seem to have finished his current project, and he just kind of you don't see him much for I'll say day 3 or 4 he finishes his project, and days 5, 6, and 7 you don't really see him much. He's not really around Westcombe and Co. all that often. Not that he's disappeared, but he's just he's just kind of made himself scarce for a couple days. Crash, what has Crash been up to for the last week?
Unless someone came into their cavern, they wouldn't have left.
Oh, that's right. Y'all did get rooms in Fort Lockjaw.
Yeah, if Saudi got stuck up at Westcombe and Co., probably would have just like dragged or bought a cot and just like sleeped and worked.
Fair enough. Gaia, I know Gaia is the only one that's essentially officially claimed a room at Fort Lockjaw, but what's Gaia been doing for, or has Crash been doing anything else other than just kind of like holed up in their
Nope, they are
their room cavern?
isolating. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Gaia, what has Gaia been up to for the last week?
You're muted.
Yeah, you're muted. Yeah. No. It is a pirate island, so can't. Oh, Roop.
Hatchet man.
Roop has had some very. Give me some. What would this be? I'd like you to give me an insight check, an intelligence check, and a charisma check.
Oh.
Okay. Yes, please. Charisma. Okay, an 8 and a 20. Okay. With a 14 insight, the kind of pseudo conversations that you have with Roop it's endearing. You haven't had much interaction with Kieran, but it's kind of similar to interacting with Kieran. Lots of drawn pictures, lots of scrawled notes. But Roop will end up going on some tirades eventually that will start on paper, but then will just kind of devolve into Roop, 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 and kind of hand gestures and motions and acting. There's one day where you're talking to him, and with an intelligence of 20, you can kind of gather the story that's happening, of the story of how he got the hatchet in his head. He was a part of it looked like a patrol or a guard for some higher up in Durgod, and he took an errant throwing axe to the skull to protect this priest. And when he took the hit to the head, and when he woke up or he blinked, he was covered in the gore and viscera of the priest that he was trying to protect, and was drinking at the camp of the of the pirates that were raiding the area that he was protecting from the priest from. And they hailed him as kind of an ally as he turned on the priest. And then they brought him back to the island. Now, with a charisma roll of 8, you think it's cute. You think it's cute. It's a fun story for sure. But yeah, Roop seems like a genuinely nice guy for what he does. He's very simple with how he is. Very well within his means, being a quartermaster for the fort of essentially a free nation state of pirates. But yeah, Roop's been very entertaining over the last week or so. So the inventory has swapped out in the last week or so. There's been some new shipments as they've been needing to bolster the coffers. Some of the things have swapped out, and some of the new inventories come in, new inventory has gone out as they needed to make room and adjustments financially to make up for the damages done by Mykonos. Since you asked, I guess I could bring up the new sheet. There's a lot of new stuff. For some reason, this thing keeps generating scrolls, and I hate it. But lots of not nearly as much shiny, not nearly as many scrolls as you remember, because scrolls do go for a pretty penny and are pretty commonplace. That is kind of one of the in this world, you're aware that that is how many mages tend to make their coin, by inscription and inscribing the spells that they know onto parchment and selling it off for a modest fee. It seems to be pretty commonplace around the world, and not much different there. But though the armory seems to be slightly lacking in scrolls these days, there is a new myriad of sundries and wares and supplies and arms and armor. As you're looking, I would say this is day 6. This is when the newest shipment comes in, and since you've been spending a lot of time with Roop, he kind of gives you the insight as like the first scoop as to what is fresh and new and what is available. You see a rather finely crafted glaive. If you were to compare it to anything that you might have seen before, you'd say the craftsmanship of your scimitar would actually be similar. There's a chain shirt that seems like it's kind of buffered with this like a steel cotton almost, or like these kind of domed plates on certain sections that protect the chest and the solar plexus. There's a short sword that's very interesting. It seems to have, it's almost like a crease with a curved blade, but it's orangish in terms of the tint. And at one point you see Root pick it up and attempt to kind of see how it works. And it lights into flame. There's a myriad of other things as well. And if you're interested, I can go through. I can post each of the other ones as we get along to it, but just let me know. Okay.
Into the chain shirt if no one else is into it.
So because times are tight for the island right now, these are all going to be full price items. you see as your watching group fill the inventory, he kind of he has a large ledger that he keeps in his little back window area. That to him is just like normal size, like maybe the size of like a pocket handbook. But for you, it's like the size of your chest. Um, you see him flipping through it and checking through some notes, and then you see him write a kind of a price tag and just kind of take a little piece of twine and tie it to the end, and you see 5,010 gold pieces on this flame tongue short sword. For the chain armor shirt, or the chain shirt armor, the chain shirt, yes, that is the one with the little globes. That one nicks itself a price tag of 6,050 gold pieces. The glaive goes for 1,020, and then he pulls out something rather peculiar. He pulls out a pair of rather regular-looking boots. But you see, as you look at the boots, and as he kind of places them up on like a center pedestal kind of area, you see that they have little. It almost like it flickers in and out every now and then. These ethereal little wings on the sides. And he looks at his notes and looks at the boots and writes down 8,000 gold pieces and hangs that tag off of them. In his regular wares, there are in fact just a regular sling. One is pretty well crafted. Give me a D100. Roll a D100 for me.
Free up my just regular crossbow bolts just while we're talking.
Oh, for sure.
Stuff like this. Yeah.
51.
Can I find this?
51 on a D100. Okay. Yes, he does have a +1 sling available for. Trying to think. 125 gold pieces.
All of our magical weapons will be in the hands of one person.
Oh.
Disappointed, Gaia.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, I'm not there. I know nothing about this, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm also not there.
What was the price of the chain shirt again? I missed it.
6,050 gold pieces.
Damn.
Yeah. Well, it is a chain shirt armor of resistance to thunder.
Ah, okay. That makes sense.
It's alone.
Alone.
You better start hair flipping like crazy. Get them butterfly lashes out. Take a little bit of charcoal, smudge under the eyes a little bit, just make those eyes pop.
Can I assist this with Bardic?
Oh,
Can I assist this with Bardic Inspiration?
are you here?
We're just going through the shops, right?
Oh well, It's different days of different things. So unless you were like stuck to Gaia's side the entire time she was hanging out with Roop on the
think-
6th day.
Jeff would eventually tag along if there was like. I mean, I went to go buy those crossbow bolts at one point, right?
That's true, but mm,
I mean, I did need those crossbow bolts, so
All
I
right,
could
all right,
either
all
I
right.
could have gone to another shop if you want to call it that way.
that's fair. Well, at some point you would have had to like claim a room and take a breather to go to sleep. So we'll say that at some point you ended up, heading back to Fort Lockjaw, found a room, and you saw Gaia hanging out with Roop and swung in to see what the hubbub was about. So sure, we'll let you be able to throw a bardic inspiration on Gaia as Gaia. How do you want to try to persuade Roop to give you a loner?
I mean, Elton John songs in the background.
Rocket Man,
Yes, that one. Not the Disney shit.
Benny and the Jets. Give me a persuasion check, and I think it's a D6 from Jeff.
Yeah.
Yep.
6. Yep.
And I think it's gonna be a long, long time.
time till I get this thing I'm trying to find. Oh my god damn it.
I'm a rocket man.
Roop. Roop has just been so infatuated with your presence for the last few days. From your understanding of his Roop. It does seem to get, a little lonesome as people just kind of come and go, and they're not ones for long conversations with him. He doesn't get to really, tell his side of the story on things. He is willing to cut you a deal, and he pulls out a little scratch piece of parchment and draws. He draws the sling and draws an arrow going to you. He draws a little picture of you and a little picture of him. They're very cute. His is slightly larger because he is Roop, and he's got the long goatee and the braid with the hatchet in his head. And then he points it over to you and with your long hair and your scar on the side. He points the sling going to you. And then he draws a scimitar pointing to him. And then in the middle, an equal sign. So it would be an equal trade. For a +1 sling.
I wish I was there.
He kind of points to the inventory he has and just kind of the sparsity of it, and he kind of shrugged his shoulders, and writes down "best I can do." Okay.
Oh my god.
Give me a persuasion check with disadvantage.
Taking advantage of a shopkeeper in the middle of reconstruction after a monster attack.
As a bonus action, your turn, yourself at 60 feet of you, creature gains bardic inspiration. So as many bardic inspirations as Jeff is willing to expend on this.
Yeah, sure, I'll burn another.
With a 15.
No. I'll burn another. I mean, we're there multiple days.
Yeah, it's a couple days worth of work. So
yeah, and it makes sense that this is a multi-trip thing.
With an 18, Roop still is just. Roop, 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 roop. He points back to the best I can do. And he kind of scoots. Because he's your buddy, he scoots the 10 gold pieces back to you. You get to like mid forearm. He takes the sling and hangs it back on the wall, and waves you off. You know, very joyfully, waves you away. So in this time, since we've gone through everyone that's here, 125 gold.
Wait, it was just 125 gold?
Yeah.
I'll throw down for it.
Oh, you've got the money?
Yeah, I should have at least I got 160 out of that single chest, and then I should have a little bit more. On my sheet it says 200.
Oh, if at any point you're able to flag
Lockbox.
Saudi down, she will pitch gold towards buying this.
The lockbox.
Must be nice to have gold.
That was in a different life, Crash. That was in a different life.
I'm still broke.
That was a prior life. You were rich.
I might
once
be
in
a different
past life.
person, but I'm broke.
You were rich once in a past life. Throughout your days, the continuing days, you do end up, crossing paths with each other once again. Jeff, Sadi, and Gaia, you all end up at the Winged Gull at one point. And I'm trying to think of who would be there. Kiran is there, or seems to be looking for the lot of you, and kind of directs you back to Fort Lockjaw. He says he scrawls out on his little chalkboard that he has. Luca is looking for three of you, or the lot of you. Crash, as you're... This is interesting.
Communing with the earth and stone.
Yes. Are you in your room at Fort Lockjaw?
Mm-hmm.
Could you describe it?
It's almost like walking into a TARDIS. It seems bigger on the inside, and yet extremely cramped to anyone not used to like a cavern. It's like the earth from outside somehow managed to get inside the fort. And like stalagmites and stalactites are like jutting out, like gemstones and rock formations fill the room. And Crash just sort of like, not even like a bed, Crash just sort of like sinks into like a rock formation standing.
Interesting. I'm envisioning, like, in these stalactites and stalagmites, there's bits of the same kind of onyx kind of jet that's piercing out of it, and you've covered up the bits of the window that are letting in light with kind of the same kind of onyx material, and it's a bit more opaque, so it kind of casts like a grayish kind of light, almost silvery light into the room. It's dim, but it's just enough light for you to be able to see and what you're comfortable with. But
I mean, I have dark vision. I don't really.
Yeah, I mean, around the 6th or 7th day after you've returned, and in this time, as you've been communing with the earth and communing with nature, you've been entering these druidic trances, or these moments in time. You're not sure what this energy is, but this new identity that you've developed and built for you, it seems, that has attuned you with an element of nature that you've always known is there, but were never this aware of. It's almost like developing a new awareness of yourself. As you enter into these kind of fugue states, in some days you're not sure if it's sleep deprivation or just a trance. You can almost feel the stone and the earth and the foundation of the mantle beneath you just it feels like it's breathing, a deep, labored breathing. Feels like there's something that is causing pain to the earth. Feels like there's a sickness there. And on the sixth or seventh day, in between these sporadic meditative states, you get a knock on your door, and it's a familiar voice. It's Jinon. It says, Crash, I was concerned. I was wondering if you are still here.
Oh god, I gotta find it.
Yeah. I kind of forgot Jinon's too, so don't feel bad.
Well, this is new, so
Yeah, this is new.
I'm pure done in. What you want?
So you hear a bit of a confused start. Would I be permitted to enter? Just to speak for a moment.
Get loudy. And the door opens.
A creaking, crackling, kind of like thin pieces of shale just kind of, the door opens on its own, and silhouetted on the outside of the low sconce torchlight, you just see the outline of Jinon as he kind of feels his way in, and you can see that he's set back at first at the sound of the slight, sounds like glass breaking almost, of earth and rock underneath his feet as he steps in. I do love what you've done with the place. Is now a good time? I was told to summon you by Luca if you were available for a small meeting.
Now's as good a time as any.
It's good. Before we go, are you all right? And I mean that in the most least obvious way possible. I mean, is everything okay?
Dinan, I died. I didn't see Grazitz. I didn't even see Grumsh. I saw nothing. I died, and all I appeared was void. And the only way I got back was by making some dark bargain with a wisp of light. I said something ignoble like, I'll do whatever it takes to protect my friends, even if I lose myself in the process, but I guess I didn't realize I really would lose everything that made me me. I even lost my Tristan accent.
Give me a perception check.
You got it. 1 second.
$17. You can kind of see that Junon's still acclimating to the environment, and to your new, feels like a new demeanor to you. It's almost like meeting a new person for the first time. Is what their body language, his body language, is kind of registering as. But you still see that sense. You still feel that sense of acceptance and acknowledgement of the things that you've gone through, and how your he has this calm kind of, his demeanor is not shaken, but you can kind of feel this, even through the shifting of his weight under his feet. You can kind of feel it in the stone within the room. He replies, I understand that what you have gone through weighs heavily on you, and for this I hope there is something that I may be of assistance to help you through it. If you would be receptive to possibly, if you would be, kind of catches himself, not really knowing the words for once. I am here if you need me, Crash. That is what I am trying to say. Luca is looking for you. I will be on my way. She is in the war room. And he turns and makes his way out of the room.
Jinan.
He's about to leave. He turns back.
I didn't want to be crass, but I'm grateful for you. Perhaps it's because you kind of see, I didn't feel like an abomination around you. I I'm a different person, but you accept me nonetheless. And I'm grateful to everybody else.
There's a soft smile and a nod, and Junon continues his way down the hall, the opposite direction.
Crash heads to the group.
All right. Okay. So, as the party convenes in the... Oh, let me move you all over there. Where is it? War room. Oh, come on now. One second. I gotta find this map. Oh, there it is. Okay. Yoink. So, as everyone enters the war room with the stone walls, the circular cut out into the room's interior, the many chairs around the large circular desk with a myriad of small cutouts and models of ships and appears to be different indicators of different outposts. You see Luca kind of head in hand, incredibly frazzled looking, though you've only seen her but a small handful of times now. She definitely looks like she has not gotten much sleep in the last couple days. She comes in, or as you enter, you see her there at the table, and Millhouse is also with her, also looking over some notes and looking at things. And you see that he's got a small a coffer with him. He looks his eyes, light up as you all enter the room, and he kind of shoots like a sly glance over at Sadi. As you all come in, Luca looks up, says, "So, first thing is first. Millhouse has some things that he would like to give to you all. You all have proven yourselves very helpful and very handy. And well, there was two things actually. If you give them your thing, and I'll give them my thing here in a second." And she goes back to scrawling some notes out and looking at some financier paperwork. And Millhouse comes over and says, "Oh, right, okay. So, Sadi kind of sort of knows what it is." He kind of jaunts over with his little coffer. Says, "So, as any good crew will have it, we all have, something to kind of show whose ilk we fall in with, who we are as a crew. I've got mine," and he points to a little cat's claw on his lapel, which in your many conversations with Genon or Kiron, you've also seen that they have kind of the same accoutrement somewhere pinned on one of their sashes. And I figured, since you kind of, you're part of the gang now, I figured I'd make y'all a little something, and maybe add a little something extra to it. So, and he opens up his small coffer and hands something to each of you. It is a small pin, like probably the size of a brooch, a small brooch. There's a lot going on with it. It is an effigy of a bear's skull, a flame at the skull, a flame at the scalp, with clockwork eyes, a scimitar, and a scythe across the back. And he presents it with such happiness and such glee. Says, "I had the weirdest trip with some of the fumes I had coming up with the enchantment on these things." And he kind of waves his finger. Which kind of gave me an idea of like how to make it. I had no idea what the fuck I was doing. I was very high when I made these, but the enchantment's good. Because he kind of looks around and says, he points at Sadi, says, "Hey Sadi, put yours on."
Yeah.
Okay, so you pin it in. He says, "Okay, now go outside, go out of the room and go like down the hall, however far you want to go."
Okay.
So make it about 100 feet out, give or take.
Fair.
It's a rather large fort. As you're just kind of loitering around in the hallway, you hear a voice come through your brooch. "Hey, Sadi, can you hear me?"
I will try to talk to the brooch.
All of you in the war room hear,
Hello? Hi?
"So, Sadi, if you can still hear me, I've enchanted these brooches."
She's like touching it, looking at it, like looking under it, like, like examining it. I'm so sure you hear
as you're watching, as you're like observing it, as Millhouse speaks, the mouth on the bear moves. "So I enchanted these brooches with a really simple message cantrip, but the tricky part was getting it to work to where you're not in the line of sight. That's where I got a little high, but it has a small range. Sadi, move like 10 feet farther, and just keep moving until you can't hear me. And he cuts out at 120 feet. So,
turn around and walk back into range.
there you go. So I was saying to Sadi, Sadi, you back? Okay. You make your way back into the worm, and you all now have pins of the tribe. We'll call them that. They are essentially a enchanted brooch that allows you to, whoever else is wearing this brooch on their person or has it in their grasp to some degree, can communicate with anybody else that also has one within a range of 120 feet. You do not have to be within eye contact.
Just so I don't forget, it's not gonna happen now, but like next time there's like a majority of us gathered, Sadi will bring up creating like a secret language so that even if like something else can hear us when we're talking on these, that we can like communicate covertly, either a code or something. But yeah, next time I have the majority of the crew.
Gotcha. So, as you make your way back into the worm, Luca gets up and is also rather interested in this, and it almost seems kind of covetous. She looks like she wants one, but you see her kind of go over to an opposite wall and she pulls a satchel off of the wall, and she brings it over. Says, "Since you will be a more active part of the, I guess is it's the larger Iron Snapper crew as a whole, there will be some expectations, but also some boons that you will be given. This should possibly assist you in helping pull your weight." And she hands... Who would get this? She hands Sadi the bag, the satchel. And Sadi, as you look at it, it's a rather regular looking satchel. She says,
Can I stick my head inside?
"You don't feel the bottom."
Yes.
Ooh.
So that is your standard bag of holdings that each crew is issued. It should come in very handy, as you seem to all be carrying a lot of stuff. Just kind of looks at all of the random shit that each of you has hanging off of you. Like, Gaia, you have a staff and a scimitar. Sadi's got, like, just weaponry, just left, right, and center.
I have a scimitar, 2 hand axes, and a rifle.
Crash just shrugs. Just got the one scythe.
No, sorry, I forgot. Also, a dagger at each wrist and like one, like like on the chest pull out.
Exactly. Let me let me get... Oh, where is this?
But the one you don't see is the one in the boot.
Here we go. So, add to... Okay, so all players now, and I'll say that for the sake of this, Sadi will be in charge of editing and maintaining the bag of holding. So you should see an items folder pop up in your journal tab, and there should be a bag of holding in there that everybody can see, but only Sadi can currently edit. Oh, well,
Right.
all players can edit, but we'll turn that off. There we go.
Bag of holding. Okay, edit. Got it.
All right. So, what else is in here? Okay. Luca says, so, since you all seem to be ready, there's a number of things that you can definitely do to help around here. There's quite a few things that are going on. First, our coffers are running dry. And that means that the contractors have made their way back to the island for the first time in a long time to help, to see what they can do in terms of jobs that need to be done. Some of them seem to be local. I would recommend taking the local jobs first. Then there are other things that are happening around the atoll that are concerning. There is some strange happenings over near... she points at the map, and I will direct you all over to the map. Give me 1 second. Yoink, and then yoink. She directs you to the map. Says, our scouts have been getting some strange... something happening over near Cutter's Peaks. It seems that as the scribes over in the Holy Quarter have said something about time not working right. We are not sure what that means, but we need to send somebody in to investigate. We would think that this would be possibly a good job for your group, as there's a possibility that it could lead to something worth your while. Alternatively, things have been getting harder and harder since Maxwell has been in bad sorts, and Chorn has been preoccupied with his duties, and it is getting very difficult to run an entire free nation state by yourself, and we need our other leaders. We need Vetra and we need Vengir. We have gotten reports that she could be somewhere near the dredge, which is down here to the south. The issue is that we have also gotten reports that... which kind of swallows a bit. I am not sure how familiar you are with him, but Logain is also back in the area. And we are not sure if those two are connected, but he also keeps himself in the dredge.
Would Sadi have heard of Logan?
Logain was the...
Oh, yes. No, I remember him now. Yes.
Okay.
No, I do remember that encounter.
Okay. There are contracts that can be taken up that will take you to some of the smaller regions of the atoll. But the two things that are largest on my radar at the moment are what is happening in Cutter's Peaks and what is happening in the dredge. I will give you time to think about it, but that is really all that I... And as she is about to finish her sentence, who has the orb at the moment?
Think check.
Jeff. As you're just kind of taking all this in and just listening, you feel a tug at your side. And as you look down, you realize that the orb... Do you have it like in a satchel, in a like hanging off of like a monkey's fist kind of situation on your side? Like, how do you have it? How do you have it strung up to you?
In a satchel.
In your satchel? Okay. You realize that it's essentially pulled itself out of the satchel. It's like one of those wibbly wobbly weasel balls with the little motor inside, but it's just moving like rapidly towards the table, and it kind of it falls to the floor with a clatter, like and you see it just roll vertically up one of the legs, and just like almost like it's being programmed to the direct center of this table. It just rolls and stops right in the center before it just floats up about 3 to 5 feet. And a sickly green beam of light just spreads across the table. And you see this light just kind of start to trace out elements of the map as it pushes away certain elements like fleet armada, ship and flotilla formations, papers, random quills, inkwells, things like that. It just seems to be drawing on this map, and it seems to be tracing elements of it. And you see it carving out different locations, the different regions, before pulling the image up and kind of projecting it over the top. It's almost like an inverse, kind of upside down version of the map. And then you see these small little glimmers appearing over certain regions. See one that appears over Cutter's Peaks, one that appears over the Dredge, one that appears over Nabad, one over the Atarak Bluffs, one over Varesh, and one over North Providence.
Sorry, are you going to post this in the Discord?
I am,
or should
yes.
Okay, I was like, or
I'm,
should
go-
I
I'm going to write this. So,
I'm very used to DMs leaving it up to me to take good notes.
gotcha. I'm just going to do that now, just so I don't forget. Okay. And as it seems to draw this simulacrum of the map, it seems to pull the image back into itself. And with a hiss and a line of steam coming off of it from where the image kind of back into the form of the orb, it just falls to the center of the map. And falls inert. And after a moment,
I'm mad with it.
Luca starts to reach for the orb.
Saudi will stop her. Hey, well, no, wait. People who've touched this have suffered unknown fates. Definitely look like some sort of disintegration. You don't, please.
It causes me nightmares and searing pain constantly.
That's why Jeff is so quiet during most of these. He's just in pain.
Look at that roll. I sold that.
Let me see it. Oh, damn. Luca taking heed of Jeff's words, says, I will ensure the others keep their distance. What is that?
It is the Lochnar.
Wait, so can I roll insight on Luca to see gauge how receptive they are? Because I mean, we know there's two major sides. There's chaos and not chaos.
Yeah.
I mean,
go for it. Yeah, roll an insight.
I forget exactly how Box put it for us, but
she looks like she has no idea what this thing is, if that's what you're trying to insinuate.
Okay. So it's the hexadent and the
hexant or the decadent is how most people would know the quote unquote pantheon of of Yoon.
I mean, I would just kind of try to relate the Cliff Notes version to Luca, kind of about what's going on. I mean, not too much detail, but just real Cliff Notes.
Give me a persuasion check with disadvantage.
Yeah.
While this is happening, Crash is going to go over and grab the orb with their onyx arm.
You grab it, and with a 4, Luca just... You're joking, right? Okay, it is gods and things. I won't touch your little rock. It's your little rock. Okay. Max will pick good ones. Okay.
I mean, maybe to help demonstrate my point, I don't know if Luca was aware that Sadi was illiterate, but she will pull out a book. I'm sure I've spent enough time at Westcom and Co. that I have a book in my bag and just start reading it.
Luca is very confused because she has not had enough interaction with you to understand why this is pertinent information.
If I notice that like confused look on her face, I go, shit. Like Sadi will sigh and go, fuck. The other day, I had a book teaching me the alphabet, and she kind of stares hard at the rest of the group.
She's giving a very the look that you would give like a toddler telling you like a super bullshit story, like
What's oh my gosh, what's the gnome's name?
Millhouse.
Oh, Millhouse. Here a minute.
Millhouse looks at you for a second, is like, I haven't heard you talk since we picked. Did they always sound like that?
Didn't it sound like that before?
Oh, okay. Yeah. What's going on? Tall, dark, and spiky.
Crash points to uses the hand that's not holding the Lochnar to point to Sadi reading proficiently.
Oh, well, yeah. I knew she could do that now. Like did I not tell you about that? And he points to Luca, and she's like, I've met them like maybe 3 times. I do not know. Like this is like the third or fourth time that we have actually sat down, and this is the first time we had a real conversation. Oh yeah, okay, all right, sorry. Okay, so Luca, Sadi couldn't read a couple days ago. She's smart as a whip prior, but she's even more smart now because she can read. She helped me kind of sort of design the brooches. But yeah, that's new. That's new. So I don't know. Take it to its worth. I say believe them. I say take what they're saying seriously. And Lucas says, kind of raises her hands, says, "All right, I will take what they say seriously." So
I mean, I didn't have this arm before, did I?
You definitely didn't, and that is still getting used to. Still, you're just a very... The name fits. I will say that. The name fits. For sure. But there's... Fine. She kind of takes a breath, sweeps some of the hair out of her face. Fine.
Successful entrepreneurs know without the
something
right
very bizarre happened in Durgad, and it sounds as if it was a prophetic come to the hexant moment that you had.
God damn it.
I am happy for your religious experience. I would say speak to somebody maybe in the Holy Quarter or one of the monks. Let's see what they know. But otherwise, I will not touch your lockard or whatever you call it.
Sadi will kind of walk up to Luca and look her like dead in the eye and go, don't need you to believe me. Just kind of pleading with her, but I just, please, the one advantage that we do have is that they may not know who we are yet. Please tell no one of this.
Okay, all right. It's not as if I would have time to tell anybody anyways. I'm still up to my ears in administrative work, which I am now 3.5 minutes behind on already.
Dottie will give a pleading look to Millhouse and just like point at the book and be like, "Come on, man." Just give him that look.
Luca, just all right. Fine. What happens in the war room stays in the war room. No one will catch wind of this. It is fine. I am obliged to tell Maxwell of it when he regains his senses, but that is because he is owed that much, as he is our admiral, he is our leader.
Dottie just kind of replies, "Well, Maxwell is one of the few people we do trust."
Speaking of, he is in his quarters if you would like to go see him. I'm not sure if he would be even had regained consciousness at this point. I have not been able to go see him myself. But I know Chorn has been in and out very frequently between his raid excursions to the north and whatever it is that Chorn does these days. Whoever would like to give me I guess an insight check.
It's a very Saudi thing to do. I'm just not doing
Take
good
those
today.
odds, too.
Oh my god.
Jeff, you definitely catch this. Oh, and damn, Crash absolutely catches this. Jeff and Crash, there seems to be like some. It's like a feeling of like a sense of like jadedness, or not jaded, dejected, kind of like upset. She gets a bit of an upset look to her, a subtle upset look to her face when she mentions Chorn and not really know what Chorn's been doing the last few days. The concept is definitely upsetting to say the least. But she kind of shakes it off and says, "He is probably within his quarters. Hopefully, still within his quarters. At this point, I have no idea. I have to get back to work. I am sorry. You are all dismissed as you see fit. I have to get back to work." And she pulls up the chair that was at her desk and regathers her notes from where the orb had scattered most of them away to the sides, and goes back to work. If you all are leaving, Millhouse makes mention, "Hey, don't pass up that contract. The contractors. Some of them got some really good jobs, and like, maybe we can get out and like go do something,
Before we leave,
Yeah.
Saudi will try to engage into like conversation with Millhouse.
Yeah, what's up, Sadi?
I mean, she's just gonna top shock with him and like kind of express like how, she thinks back to like how many times she shot the orc that summoned Mykonos.
Yeah.
And how, maybe if something were slightly different, or if she had been smarter at the time, she would have been able to stop it. And is kind of latched onto this idea of infusing magic into a bullet. And I guess it kind of leads me to a question about like with Saudi's intelligence gain, like now she can read and she's read books and like is it just like a broad general knowledge? Like, would she be aware of like the silent spell at this point? Like, or would they need to like spend some research to like figure out that even exists. Because if they're aware of the silence spell, they'll talk to Millhouse directly about like the concept of like basically like imbuing that spell's magic into a bullet and shooting a mage with it, to shut them up for a moment or two, and like how that could have made all the difference with summoning Mykonos. Otherwise, they just kind of talk about their guilt and how they wish there was like something they could have done to stop a mage with, you know, what they do.
Give me a... What's your intelligence score right now? 18?
18
is
my highest score.
Give me give me an intelligence check.
God damn it. Today has just not been my fucking day.
You're killing it. You have an idea of what it is that you want to try to explain to Millhouse, but your thoughts are just kind of falling all over each other as you're still kind of getting used to the idea of having such clear, coherent thoughts that they all want to come out at the same time because you're so excited about it. You kind of jumble over your words and decide and realize that you just couldn't quite grasp what it was that you wanted to be able to design. So you just kind of vent to Millhouse as you kind of make your way out into Iron Snapper Isle to spend the next couple days of planning and getting an idea of what it is that the next step is for the Misfit Tribe. So now that we have essentially caught up, what does everybody want to do?
If we take 5, if that's okay.
Oh yeah, let's take a fiver. I think that's a good spot to take a fiver and grab some water, grab some snacks, do what you gotta do, go to the bathroom.
Alright.
Tonight has not been my night for rolls.
You had one.
I had one roll over 15.
You got it in pretty early.
Right, we just gotta get them out of the way now. RP sessions probably the
best time to get those out of the way.
Not always, but probably if you had to choose, you'd choose an RP. Yeah, I mean, the way I see it, Sadi would have spent her time focusing on 3 things. First one would be something to stop or at least affect mages. The next would be we definitely want to invent the 1 1/4 ounce 3-inch shotgun slug, and shotgun to shoot it. Because thinking of we've fought multiple things now where bludgeoning would be more effective, especially against after that rock guy. And then thinking of the spellcaster, the orc shaman or whatever, that's definitely where the mage thing would come from. And then the third goal would be just to like boost the damage or capacity, the capabilities of long iron. But, I mean, clearly, obviously, a week is probably not enough to get all of that done. But
well, yeah, there was other things happening too. Like you were still pretty, locked in depth with just doing a couple other projects, and you're catching up on your reading.
Yeah, that too. But just so you're aware for the future, those are probably top 3 projects.
Got it. So
if I do mention that
fantasy 10 gauge, silence rounds. I mean, you have the journal. You have the notes journal, the ideas journal. So yeah, just plug them in there. I'll take a look at them.
Oh, they're definitely in there.
Oh, okay.
I filled out that journal like the next night or night of.
Jesus.
Like no, go take a look at it. There's a lot in there. Like literally a lot.
Party notes.
Oh, that yeah. I
Holy
sent you like a text the next day or something like that, and I was
Jesus
like,
Christ.
yeah. So I did a brain dump, and I just dumped all my thoughts in there. So I was like, that'll give you plenty to chew on.
Well, hey, I must have skimmed over the magic walkie-talkies, but hey, the magic walkie-talkies made it in.
They did. So yeah, hey, look at that, already one down. Macbeth, you fucking weasel! No, you're not getting any more. Get out.
So I'm seeing another thing on here, a non-lethal ammo. So that is actually just a function that you can do in game. Like that is just a thing that you can call. It's like calling a corner pocket. Like if this, like you could just say if this would kill, I would want it to be non-lethal damage, and then that would be, you could easily make that claim, and it would just knock something unconscious or incapacitate.
So in 3.5, the way non-lethal worked is certain weapons only dealt non-lethal damage, and certain
Right.
things only dealt non-lethal, right?
Welcome
But
to
if it built up to your HP
5E.
total, you went to sleep. But if you wanted to like use like a normal weapon, you took a
Welcome back.
-4 to deal
Welcome back.
non-lethal damage.
Welcome back.
That's I like that change. That makes life easier.
Yeah. It's not as many numbers. Definitely not as many numbers. But yeah. So if we're all back, what do we want to do now that I heard Gaia wants to go check out that contract here to see what they have available. Is that correct? Gotcha. So, is anybody else going with Gaia? All right. Anybody going with Gaia to the contract here?
I'm trying to decide whether needing
go.
coin to buy more AP rounds or if working on her projects is more important to decide.
Yeah, Crash will go.
Yeah, Saudi will go with.
Yeah. Everyone's going to the contract here?
Sounds like it.
All right. So, as you all make your way through Iron Snapper, oh wait, we gotta get the right vibe here. Gotta get the right setting. Give me a second. Where is my? There it is. And then we gotta get. Oh shit, where'd it go? Pay no attention to the man behind the thing. There it is. Okay. So, as we make our way through Dukan, I think the music's playing. Yeah, the music's playing. As we make our way through Dukan, you can kind of see that the efforts to rebuild have been coming through in strides. There's a lot of good, solid work being done. It looks like everyone is pretty much pitching in, doing what they can. As you make your way to the merchant's quarter, where the tavern, like the Winged Gull, is, you see a bunch of different. There's a new kind of a pop-up, I guess you could call it, established not too far from the Winged Gull. it seems to be, kind of a makeshift contractor kind of wanted board situation. You hear a crowd of people, like you see a line of people about 30 to 40 deep, all lined up, kind of going through in their respective crews, 5, 6 at a time. So there's about maybe 8 to 9 crews here. As you're just kind of standing around looking and waiting, everyone, what do you all just kind of, you have an opportunity to just kind of shoot the shit. What do you want to? Anything you want to talk about while you wait in line? This is a peak RP right now. I'm telling you.
I'm okay. I'm literally cannot remember what my nickname for Gaia was. Shit.
I don't remember either.
Yeah, I don't know.
I
Twiggy.
don't remember. No. I do remember making the stupid joke about Crash calling everyone sugar at the time. Um. Fuck. I don't remember. Fine. Saudi will kind of, while we're waiting in line, turn to Crash and kind of look at them and be like, "Hey, big.
Hi.
How you feeling?"
Bit peely wheely, to be honest.
Oh, well, that ain't fucking proper. Well, hey, we should grab a drink sometime.
All right.
Do you still like to drink the same things?
I didn't know. I didn't ken. I haven't eaten or drank anything in days.
Huh. Well, fucking bollocks.
I didn't hope you're just talking to me because you're pitying me a little.
Sorry, you broke up a little bit. Did you say
Oh,
something about
sorry.
paying you?
Yeah, basically.
Saudi will just easily laugh that off because that's not the last thing that crossed their mind. And just kind of like give you a pat on the thigh because that's what they can reach. And as they laugh it off and just, I'm glad you're here. And just kind of like turn back to wait in line.
Rash just raised an eyebrow, and you hear the ground kind of groan.
As what about Gaia and Jeff? Anything y'all have on your minds? Okay. Interesting. Gotcha.
Rash is gonna look over at Saudi. And overheard you in Millhouse. I just wanted to say, look, I'm not good at this anymore. But failing means you're playing, right? It doesn't matter if it didn't work out. We'll fix it. Aye?
Aye, that we will. Give another
Or
like slap on the thigh because again, that's what I can reach.
or I'll die again trying.
Saudi will kind of like like they were probably about to turn around back to like stand in line, gonna like stop, turn around sharp like, and kind of give you a quick little stare as how would they phrase
Just
it?
black, inky void stare back.
Kind of gives you the how would like what would the intonation be? Just the not if I can help it kind of thing.
Crash.
Like you might be able to read into it that they kind of blame their own inability to truly invent things at the time. But that's kind of buried beneath the just like the not if I can help it, like, hey, you're part of the crew.
Crash reads into it, kind of gets what she's implying, and just shrugs. It's for real, no go by ye. It is what it is.
So,
To address the elephant in the room, or in the marketplace, I guess. This is the original accent before I fled the Trist. I seem to have lost, well, a lot, but I cannot speak Orcish anymore, and I cannot speak Tristian either. So you're stuck with this.
It's alright, Big. I've already seen there's plenty of other things you can do.
Aye, but turn into a scary rock monster.
That you do.
I cannot tell if you're making fun of me.
What? Me? I don't do that.
The earth kind of groans again. Jeff, you've been quiet. You all right there?
That's because I had a snack and I've actually been stuffing my face while we've had this conversation. Sorry, I don't take lines well.
You look back and Jeff has like 3 bear claws in each hand. And he's just
Oh no, it's not a bear claw. It's a little grilled fish on a stick.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I'm, like, gnawing at it, and there's like little bits of bone and like
trying to not
scales and
eat
stuff
eat
kind
the
of around me.
trying not to eat the head.
Street food. No. The head started. That's what it started with, and yeah,
Damn.
it's like little
He just-
bones. There's like cats starting to like find their way on me, or, like make their way out of the corners of the street.
So after a little while of hanging out in line, just kind of shooting the shit, two crews go away, 3 crews go away. As the 4th crew in front of you kind of turns and leaves with their contracts, Sadi, you see them as they pass you, and it is the Red Hooks. And
Crash kind of instinctively places themselves between Sadi and the Red Hooks.
they don't clock you
Frankenstein
initially.
picture people.
Yeah, I definitely, as soon as I recognize them, I would try to just turn away. Give them nothing but my back, if I can. But
They don't clock you initially, but as you're in the kind of glances that you can catch through Crash's kind of large figure, you can see Ignacio, and he looks in your general direction, and it seems like for a second he just kind of looks at the group, and then it almost looks like his eyes bolt directly to yours. And you just see that same sinister, sly grin slide across his face over the edge, out of the corner of his mouth. And they start to make their way over towards you. And after they get closer and closer, they just walk on by. And you hear Ignacio go, "Have fun on your first contract, le petit kraken. We'll see you out there on the water."
Something about the way they speak makes me realize immediately that they are not to be trusted, and that they are an enemy, and that they probably like very smelly cheese.
Damn it.
Oh yeah.
And they might be an animated skunk who chases women.
Oh yeah, Jeff didn't run into them the first time. That is Sadi's old crew. You can see them. There's some tabs in the journal that let you see some of the NPCs that y'all have met so far. As ooh, Gaia, as you say, we don't like you. The Dragonborn in the group, Yona, stops. And she turns back around. She has this stern look in her face, and she approaches you very quickly. She stops about a couple inches from you, leans in and says, "Well, now, hun, speaking as one of yours, I say there's a very large reason that we might not like you either. I'd recommend you watch your tongue before someone cuts it out."
Getting shaky, ain't you?
You see the reptilian eyes kind of go into very, very narrow slits, and the frills on the side of her neck start to rattle and shake a little bit. You can hear the Do you know Draconic? Shit, you do. Hang on, let me verify. I just gotta double check. I believe you, but I gotta see it from my own eyes. Let me double triple check. Yep, sure do. Okay. In Draconic, she replies, "You think you're cute replying to me in my own words. I don't know why it's... Sorry, not that accent. You think you're so cute, don't you? Once we see you out on the water, see if you're cute then. Trash." She walks away. After a couple more minutes, the crews ahead of you finally part their ways, and it is now your turn to meet the contractor. And you hear, "Da, come," and you don't see the voice that is telling you to approach. You just hear something from underneath this counter, and as you approach, there's just a large billboard with just contracts plastered all up. Pinned in with different little iron spikes, and a small figure hobbles up as you watch a small rabbit humanoid individual with long ears, one kind of crooked at the tip, kind of pointing off at like a 90-degree angle, black fur, white around the face, a long kind of thin little mustache that kind of drapes down low under the chin, and a tiny little goatee that pulls down just as far. Dressed in kind of like a half vest and a blouse, and a nice pair of dungarees. The individual says, "Da, I am Anton. I am contractor. You take a look at contracts. You get contract, and you get paid by point of contact. Yeah. Where do you want to go? We have contracts for Nabad. We have contracts for the Dredge, and we have contracts for Atarak Bluffs. Where do you go, huh?"
Well, personally, I always pick my destinations based on cuisine. Do you have any recommendations?
Cuisine. There is no food in Atarak. It's all dry salt lands and tall bluffs. Nabad is all desert. You possibly run into Trikeen, but they will try to kill you and make you food. It's funny because you're not food.
I see the
Dredge,
humor in that.
Dredge is all depends on if you like eat dead people. Dredge is all dead people, but that is where they bury dead.
I'm gonna turn to the group and say, so the middle option, does that sound okay with everyone?
Saudi will give you kind of like a quick elbow to the ribs, kind of like a love tap kind of thing, and be like, 2 of those are on the list.
Ah, right. Right. Which ones are on the list? Is it the dredge and
The dredge and the bluffs.
I mean, all of those are on the list.
Are they?
Oh yeah,
okay.
Nevada's on the list too.
So Luca
Where's the
pointed
one?
out Cutter's Peaks and the Dredge in particular, but all of these locations did have glowing nodes that appeared above them during during the simulacrum experience that you had with the orb. So there is only one contract for the dredge at the moment, but there is 3 for Nabad and 3 for Atarak. He takes a look at some of the ones on the board, and then takes a look at you. We do have a rating system for the difficulty of likelihood of death. 1 is least, 5 is most. I would say it kind of gives you like a very judging, like eye up, eye down kind of look. You all should probably aim for 3s. Maybe 3s. Aim with 2s. It is funeral of yours. It is not mine if you decide to go. But I will offer a contract out as needed. It is your choice. I can let me go. Let me go ahead and post the contracts that
Oh, okay, cool.
he has.
I was gonna.
That way it makes it easy. Hopefully I can post all of these. No, I can't. Okay. Let me see how far in I can get. You absolutely can.
Yeah, so that eliminates the dredge.
But
that
the
only
dredge
one?
also has the job. Also has us finding one of the people that Luca asked for.
Don't all of them have that?
No. Cutter's Peak is somewhere she wanted us to go, and then the dredge is where one of her cohorts that she needs to come back is. But it's also where Logain was last seen.
Okay, so if I remember this correctly, the dredge has only one contract, but has one of people Luca wanted us to contact, but not the captain of the ship that intercepted the Calico on the way in.
She doesn't want us to find him. Like, that's not who she's looking for. But Logain is also there.
In the dredge. So
Yeah.
okay, it's the wait, oh, this is way up now. Let me scroll. But was it not the Cutter's Peaks? Is the
Cutter's
other
Peaks was
place?
the other place.
Okay, so I'm gonna vote for Cutter's Peaks because I would like to try to get Luca on our side.
Cutter's Peaks is the one with the temporal anomalies. The Dredge is the one that has Vetra, which is the other one of the Iron Hand, one of the other pirate lords, essentially. That would help make governing the island a bit easier. Yes, those are the three places that currently have contracts available.
Saudi would vote for Cutter's Peaks, and the reasoning they would.
Right. It's not one of
Oh,
the ones
that
with contracts, but it's one of the
contracts.
ones with like jobs for us to do.
And there's one of the two contacts for Luca there, right?
No,
Not
that's the one with temporal
That's
anomalies.
okay. I keep getting these.
all right.
Timey-wimey.
I'll put these at the end. Cutter's Peaks.
Wibbly wobbly, timey-wimey.
I should have just written those anyways, because I do better. I'm like, oh yeah, Tom posts everything I need to know.
There we go.
Okay. Cutter's Peak has temporal anomalies. Does not have any contracts from the the guy we're talking to. Sorry. But does have jobs available. Shit. I don't know. I don't know what I vote for. Sorry.
I vote we go to Iraq.
So they are interconnected, but it is long. The areas aren't small by any stretch of the imagination. Um, yeah, they do share a border. And they are drastically different biomes. As you were able to in your random observations, especially as you sailed kind of within somewhat near distance to Cutter's Peaks, you could see that even near Durgod, where it's very temperate, very highlands essentially, you could see the snow and just the sheer Arctic presence that was in Cutter's Peaks. Now, Adirak Bluffs, a bit too far away for you to have gotten an idea of, but based on Anton's description, it does sound like it's a bit arid, with it being salt flats.
Can I make a some sort of intelligence check or something like that? To see just how Saudi's trying to gauge in her mind how much time she thinks Vetra has. And if we don't go do I suspect if we don't go now, will Vetra not make it, kind of thing.
Well, Luca didn't give a whole lot of information about,
Vetra and their abilities. Yeah. I don't really know a whole lot about them.
Yeah. So you have no idea who Vetra is or what they're capable of. You just know that their presence here would be a boon to Luca at the very least. So you know that they're capable in that regard at most, but you have no idea of their survival or combat prowess. Yeah, you wouldn't really be able to make a roll to really. You would have to ask Luca more about Vetra.
Is there a time limit on when these, if we take the contract, when it has to be completed?
So asking Anton this, Anton says, it depends on toughness of job. You have more time to finish higher rated job and less time to finish lower. I give 2-3 day turnaround for anything below 2, and then up to a week or maybe 10 days for 3 to 4, and then first come first delivered for the 5s.
Ready gave him a vote.
Yeah, 1 for Adirak.
Jeff will pick Adirak as well.
2 for Adirac. 3 for Adirac.
Yeah, Saudi would vote for trying to find Vetra.
1 for the dredge.
Crash will vote for the dredge.
Oh shit. Okay.
You're not supposed to follow me.
We got a vote swap. 2 for Adirac, 2 for the dredge. If only we had a 5th member tiebreaker.
If only.
Nah, it's fine. That'll make it.
Seem to be at an impasse. I didn't think that's wise.
I love the speed at which that came out.
Sorry, it's like my roommate. I missed that a little bit.
Yeah. Nat will be the tiebreaker here. You all will feel suddenly compelled to go to
One or the other.
yeah.
Hello? Test.
What?
Oh, okay, I can hear you now. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah.
Okay, I can hear you there for a second. At the wheel on the headset got dialed all the way to one side.
You're good. All right. Well, I guess this is a good. We'll let everyone chew on it, and we'll carry on. Does anybody have anything else they would like to do while the rest of the crew is deciding where they want to go?
I mean, I take it the people behind us are probably not too happy about us taking too much time. So
you just see it's just a crew of just all halflings, just like, come on, just pick one. Just you're taking them all. Come on.
Saudi will hold up a peace sign, and then stick their tongue in between and go.
If one of them flips you the bird, the other one kind of like grabs their arm at you, like, yeah, fuck off, get out of the way.
Crash just walks away.
All right. So, as are you all kind of splitting and doing your own thing, or what does everyone want to do? Okay.
Adarac has an urgent contract, and does it also? It's also in one of the ones that has potentially a shard, right?
It does have a shard or something.
Okay, so Saudi will go, yeah, whatever, Adarac.
Well,
and then head off
hang
back
on,
for West
hang
Rico.
on.
Flippity
Okay,
floppity.
we gotta vote for Dredge.
Swamp.
All right.
Nat says swamp.
Nat says swamp.
But did not say that before you started walking away.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Ah. Yeah, because no, that would like, I mean, that would.
I
cause
walked
Saudi
away. I
to-
still gave my vote. Oh.
Well, it's all right. That's fair. Okay. So we got a. You all suddenly, something in the in the wind whispers, the dredge.
Well, you
So
heard the wind.
I heard the wind. Is it the dredge? Okay, so that will be our. I guess we'll tiebreaker. The person takes the vote. We'll say that are we all on board with going to the dredge first? I mean, the votes take it unless Saudi is actually swap back to Atarak. Let's just run the votes back with one for the dredge so far. We'll say Nats is the one for the dredge for now. So we have one for the dredge. Let's run the votes back and see where everybody stands. Okay, we have one for Atarak, one for the dredge.
This is also for Atarak.
We got one for the dredge, two for Atarak.
On you.
Still voting to save Vetra.
Okay, two for the dredge, two for Atarak.
The dredge.
Got three for the dredge. The dredges have it. After a bit of back and forths, the crew eventually does decide we're gonna head to the dredge. So, as you all, complete your little sit-in, your little circle. Is everybody just kind of? What's everybody else want to do for? I guess the rest of the time, in either preparation or yeah, I guess in prep. Going to the bar. All right. So Gaia heads off to the clipped wing gull. What's Sadi doing?
Does Saudi think they can complete any of their goals before they leave?
Yeah, I mean, y'all haven't established like when it is that you want to leave. So, as far as you're aware, you have an indeterminate amount of time.
Okay. So with the time, with the time that I'm given, I would go to I keep wanting to say Vetra. That's not the name.
Westcombe Co?
No.
Luca?
Luca. That's
Oh, Luca. Okay.
yeah, I'd go to Luca. I'd ask about Vetra. And just kind of let them know that that's the crew's intention.
Okay.
And kind of just try to get as much insight on how to make that as like feasibly possible. Do they have any information on Logain as well? As I would really like to be able to grab Vetra and dip out without having to necessarily fight him. And then the rest of my time would probably be focused. If I think I could complete one of my projects, I would focus on that. If not, I would otherwise try to like offer up my skills in order to try to like get materials to make AP bullets.
Well, that's one thing at a time here because you just dumped a lot on me. Okay, so you want to okay? Let's go through the Luca conversation first. Because I would like to go through this personally. Okay, so you find Luca pretty much where you left her initially. Still in the war room. One side of the stack of papers is now much lower than the other, and you can see her, even more frazzled and dazed. But it seems like she's powering through as much as she can. She registers you as you walk in, and says, "So, have you all decided what you will, where you'll be going?"
Yes, we have. It was a vote, and the crew decided that we would go to save Vetra. And I voted for it myself, and that's why I'm here.
Not even looking up at the paper for a moment, and then she cocks her head back and kind of rests her hands rests her head in her hands. Well, the first thing that you got wrong is saying that you will be saving Vetra. Vetra is very, Vetra knows her way around that area, to say the least. Granted, she may need some assistance. It has been 5 days, 6 days since I have seen her last. Or rather, she left 5 or 6 days before you all arrived. So it has been well over a week, almost 2 weeks now, since she has been there. And she is only usually there for about a day at the most. Which is why there is some cause for concern, but I know how she operates, and I know What drives that terrifying, terrifying woman? Is there anything that you want to know about her? I could let you. I could tell you what I do know.
Okay. At this point, like, I understand. Does Saudi understand that what Luca wants from us is to like get Vetra back home safe, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Um. Well, what is her speciality? What makes her so terrifying?
Well, in the same way that most magic users are terrifying, she knows her way around a spell. And I think that, as myself, who cannot do that, makes her inherently a little bit scarier than the average person. I would feel that you might feel the same for some of your compatriots.
Saudi kind of pinches her temper like really quick and goes, I think okay. So the question is, wait. He pinches her temple really hard and goes, oh yeah. So do you know if she does arcane or divine magic?
Well, she is what, as I am the Lord of Coin, and Chorn is the Lord of War. Luca, well, it's been so many days I have not slept. Sorry, Vetra is our Lord of Loss. She is their, how you say, our cleric to help our fallen brethren pass on to the next, as they would say. She is one of much divine knowledge, but her purview is something of a ferryman to the other side. If you had to put it in simple terms, she is a woman of the cloth.
It seems you've known her a long time. Is there some sort of symbol or sign she would leave for would-be saviors?
She has never been in a. She never put herself. She hasn't put herself. She. Give me an insight check at this correction.
Is there something she would tie on the door when she was betting a man?
Yeah. So. Yes, you can still grab those jobs for sure. You can still have those. Um. Well, she does not do that, but no, she hasn't been she hasn't put herself in a position recently where she would need someone to save her. So no, I cannot say that she has anything like that.
Sorry, I got sidetracked with the whole she doesn't do that comment. Um,
No, she does not. She does. In the times that I have known her, she's only really gotten herself into a small number of sticky situations. And in those times, no, she has not necessarily left anything behind as a mark of hers. Whenever she goes into the dredge, it is only for a day or two, and then she is back.
okay, I just like a description of what she looks like.
Well, she is a halfling woman, fair blonde hair, usually clad in a green cloak with an oaken quarterstaff. She's very, very fragile in the face, is the best way to describe. It is hard for my tongue to. Fair, I think, is better. She's fair in face and hair like dandelions. Very, very yellow, very, very long. Other than that, she has these very soft eyes. I think is correct word. She's just a very, very pleasant being to be around, and if there was ever a choice for there to be the last face to that our brethren might see before they pass on to the next, that would be the best face to see.
Thaddeus, last kind of 2 questions for Luca would be, is there potentially a question that I could ask her by which I would be able to confirm her identity? Essentially a question, not necessarily too private, but something that only she would know about her life. And then the other one would be like about Logain. And like, because we've heard that he's in the area. What do you know about him? Is there a weakness of his or something that would attract him or attract his attention and be able to I'm trying to aim it for like what would allow us to escape. Like, is there would a distraction work, straight up stealth, is it best to be blustery? I don't know, what do they know about him?
Okay, so first you want to ask, is there anything that only she would know? And then second you want to ask about Logain. Am I tracking?
Yep.
Okay. Well, you could ask her, she scoffs in kind of a laugh. What was the last thing that she and her husband Vengir fought about? And you could say that everybody's that was at the fort. Definitely heard about that fight. Something to do with Vengir leaving for Cutters, and then that was it. Which Vengir would be nice to have back too, but I do not see that happening for a while. As the other, regarding, and you see her complexion kind of, or you see her face kind of dour for a second. Logain, if you can get her, Vetra, and get out of there without attracting the attention of Logain, it would very much be in your benefit to do so. Logain is very much a problem these days, and especially in that area, he has... We will say that her and Logain's motivations clash greatly. It's not a fun thing when you lay a friend down to rest, and then you are fighting him off the next week.
Well, I appreciate the information. And Sadi will walk out towards the door and then stop, turn around and go, wait, I guess I do have one more question. Can you help us arrange transport?
Sure. You can have one of my schooners. I will let I will send word to the ferryman at the wharf, and they will let you use one of mine until we can establish something for your crew more substantial.
So how do you go over the, hey, you're aces, and finger guns, and then walk out?
Okay. Under her breath, give me a perception check.
Okay. I'm done here. Okay, perception.
$19. You hear her say, just this the tiniest whisper of, there's so many questions. And she goes back to her desk. Crash. Well, actually, Sadi, you were going back to Westman Co. to work on other things, correct?
Yeah, the rest of my time, literally until someone came and dug me out, she'd
Okay.
probably stay buried in her projects.
Gotcha. We'll return to you in a second. Crash. Where did you go after? Where did you start to go after you acquired your contracts?
Crash would go back to the beach.
Back to the beach. Okay. As you're, are you walking through the crowds, or you're kind of like staying off to the sides, like kind of sticking close to alleys or anything like that? Are you just like walking through the center of the marketplace, or?
Yeah, Crash is just barging through the crowds.
As you're barging, I'd like to, I'd like you to give me a perception check.
Uh, Peter's being weird.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. $14. Okay. With that, you just hear there's just lots of crowds, lots of people. You just kind of haven't pushed through. It starts to feel like a little overwhelming. You kind of push through a small crowd, a small crew that seems like they just got off a boat from somewhere, and they're just kind of taking in the sights. And you push by them, and you hear someone go, "Hey, hey!" Blah, blah, blah." You push by, and you eventually find that small trail kind of cut off to the side that leads down to that beach that Genon took you to initially. And after a little while, you make your way down to the coastline, and you just hear and feel the soft coastal wind kind of blow in and kind of brush across your cheek. You can feel the sand kind of giving way underfoot, and you can hear the sound of the waves kind of. It's almost like a breathing. So you found your way to the beach. What would you like to do while you're here?
Crash is just gonna try to commune with the earth and stone, and just to kind of like get into like a trance sort of state. They sing that song they sang to Genon before.
Give me a wisdom check. Oh, there we go. Nat 20. As you sit down on the beach and kind of go into your normal meditative stance or meditative state, you almost instantly lull into it. You just the breathing, the crash of the waves kind of is replaced with the low, dolorous of the earth beneath you. And it feels like it's a pulse, it's a heartbeat. But slow, again, labored. And you're focusing on this labored element. And it is like listening to a great beast with a sickness. It is something old. It is something ancient. And you listen to the earth, and as it breathes to you, you breathe in tandem with it. And after a while, with how slow the earth and the stones seem to be breathing and flowing their essence out into the world around it, you realize that your breathing is starting to slow and slow till you're barely breathing at all, but you're still so in tune with the elements that the sand has started to not necessarily envelop you, but has become attracted to you. And kind of like ferrofluid in a magnet. It's kind of like sticking to you in different magnetic bismuthy kind of shapes and patterns alongside you. The calcification and different bits of shell, though not inorganic, still kind of get pulled up through it and with it. And you feel this the faintest dun 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 dun. It's not in tandem or in rhythm with what you were hearing before, the breathing. It feels like a tapping, almost like a rapid footstep, running. It starts to get a little louder and a little louder. And then louder, more, louder still. It almost pulls you out of your trance, but then you physically hear it instead of feeling it. Somebody has just stopped at the edge of the beach and has just been moving. You can feel where their weight shifts on the earth around them. And you can sense them in the area that they stand. And you hear a familiar voice that you've not heard in a number of years. Crash bang.
Crash immediately jerks out of their trance.
As you jerk out of the trance, do you turn to the figure, or
Crash slowly turns to face the voice.
as you turn and face the voice, you see a human man with a blue trench coat and a head of shaggy red hair and very soft blue eyes, looking amazed and in awe that it's you, it's Crash, it's Matthias from all those years ago. Crash Bang, you're different, but I know that glum look from anywhere. What have you been doing?
How long you got?
We've just got here. You kind of stormed through my crew and I, but I saw you come down to the beach and.
Sorry about that.
No. You're a busy person. I understand. I remember all the things you told me. I would love to catch up. Where are you staying these days?
Fort Lockjaw.
You're staying at the fort. Oh my. We've yet to find a place for ourselves. We may just be staying at the tavern for a little while, but we'd love to catch up and maybe grab a drink and maybe some food. It kind of looks at the rock abscesses on you. Do you eat still?
I can still eat. It's more of a activity, I guess.
Oh, well, I saw some lovely mutton on the way in. I think that there would be something that it reminds me of that stop that we had. I can't remember the town, but and Matthias catches himself and says, I just got a little overexcited. I'm sorry. I'm just. It's good to see an old face, and I wasn't expecting you here of all places. I will be honest. Once we settle in, do you all are you here with the crew? Are you setting out soon, or?
I didn't know how long it'll be before we set out, but I definitely want to catch up with Matthias.
Absolutely. We'll likely be staying at the Clipped Wing Gull, or that tavern. I think that's what it's called.
I'd offer my room, but it's not really suitable for anyone but me. It's a bit rocky, if you catch my drift.
I understand. I understand. Look. You might have Nat here in a second. Yeah, come find us anytime you're free. I'm sure that we'll likely be staying there. The crew definitely likes their mead, and I definitely like a good place to stay. So I'll leave you to it, whatever it was. But the kind of the nervous smile kind of washes away, and like a sincerity takes Matthias as he says, "It is genuinely very good to see you, Crash."
You too, Matthias. I forget it. It's good to see you.
He gives you a kind of a coy smile and nods and kind of excuses himself away from the beach, like I wasn't like a mom saying I wasn't here, um, and makes his way back up the. Uh, hang on a second. Back up the trail. Um,
Once Matthias is out of earshot, Crash is gonna say in primordial, "What's wrong with you?"
do you have to spell speak with plants or
I am
animals?
a druid, so I certainly could have prepared.
Okay.
I wouldn't have prepared combat spells. So.
Fair. Okay, yeah. Oh, cool. Nat's gonna be popping in here in a second.
Awesome.
Uh, give me another wisdom check. Let's see if you roll another nat 20. Damn, real close. Real fucking close. As you kind of focus speaking into the earth, you see that there are hello. As you focus speaking into the earth, you kind of notice that some of the grains of sand in the palm of your hand from where they were gathering earlier start to kind of swirl and form shapes. It looks like a crystal. It looks like a stone, a rock of some type. And then you see these tiny little lines pulling out of it, almost like thorns or needles or something. And then the sand just wipes its way from your palm.
Suppose I should talk to Gaia.
Speaking of, what is Gaia doing? Yes, so you can take as many of the contracts as you like, and you can attack them as you see fit. Okay, yeah. So you have the Adarak contracts and the Dredge contracts. Gotcha. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Okay. Okay. Oh, we can kind of sort of hear you, Titus.
I'm sorry, can you hear me better?
Yes.
Did I give Gaia the 200 gold for that sling?
Not yet. You could say. Well, Gaia didn't really just. I'd say you went with Gaia. Do you want to go with Gaia during this excursion?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. So Jeff and Gaia head back to go see Roop. Jeff, you can easily just as you're watching Gaia try to hand over fist, kind of uh, uh, get this sling from Roop. You just kind of throw 125 gold on the table, and Roop is just like Roop. Takes the gold and gives Gaia the sling.
I wanted to help, my bad.
So it was a short sword. Yeah. Okay.
I give Gaia bardic inspiration for this
All right.
too.
Roop, give me a persuasion check with bardic inspiration. A 12.
Bardic inspiration was just general advantage.
I'm sorry? It is. So you could tack on guidance on this. I'll allow it just in this one instance. Lord knows. So total of 15. Roop still Roop he scribbles some stuff down and says, I gotta make a profit here. He writes something else down. Says what was the price that we had? Let me find the price that I had on these. So it was the boots and the short sword that you're interested in now, correct? And the chainmail. Okay. Gotcha. He
Wait.
writes some more. He writes some more stuff down and says,
Chad, is the chainmail for you? Oh, is that on my behalf? Okay, I don't actually want the chainmail. Yeah, no, I'll find a different one. But get the short sword for yourself for sure.
So as an over the table kind of mechanics thing, druids cannot use short swords. They can only use scimitars in terms of martial weapons. I think you did that as like your druid. Oh wait, you can be proficient in short swords because of your circle of stars. You can change your proficiencies per trance. Or per your no, I think that's just a racial thing. You can change your proficiencies. Yeah, you can be proficient in short swords if you like. But that's just you. Sure. Okay. Yeah. Root points at the short sword and points at the boots and then writes down fuck, how much is that? 13,050 gold and draws and says hard line underneath. He throws that scrap at you and really fast scribbles. You finish those jobs and bring me the gold, and we can do a transaction. Roop. Okay, gives you the same kind of friendly farewell as he's ought to do. Let's Jeff and Gaia. Nat, You can actually just if you go into the little I dot compendium thing, you can just look up sling, and it should bring up a bunch of options for like sling plus one. Uh, yeah, so you can drag and drop a sling plus one into your inventory. Hey there, Nat.
Sorry. Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, you made it. Um, lots of stuff. Well, I say lots of stuff happened, but okay. So the long, short, skinny, winny of it. Um, kind of rebuilding. So there's contracts that are available. We decided to take the contracts that are in a region called Atarax Bluffs and then the Dredge. Luca, one of the pirate lords, said that there's two things going on that need some attention. There's something happening in Cutter's Peaks, and then there's something happening in the Dredge. The party has decided to go and investigate what's happening in the Dredge because one of the other pirate lords are also there. We have also learned that there are certain regions in the atoll that have something of note in them, as the orb kind of laid out a weird wireframe projection AI 3D AR image of the atoll and kind of marked some of the things. And the Dredge is one of those locations. So we're just kind of going around at this point, I guess, just kind of preparing for the next leg of the journey. But we'll say that for this whole time, the whole week, essentially, that, a week has passed since you all have left Durgod and come back to the island. We'll say Zosie's kind of gone through a mini hibernation. And it's on the 7th day that Zosie is just now waking up in his room, just, I'm hungry. Kind of doing Zosie things. So on this on this day, what would you like to do?
I've had time to rest and kind of lick my wounds some more. Zosie's gonna start looking over those spell pages to kind of get a better idea of what exactly he took.
Perfect. So as you kind of prepare to look over these spell pages, you kind of like want to realize you want to know that you have a little bit of privacy. Also over the table, the party got these little brooches that have like the insignias of what like the party was talking about in the chat a couple days ago. That basically act as like little magical walkie-talkies. They have a range, but you have to be wearing them or have them on your person to be able to use them. As you poke your head out to see if anybody's nearby, there's nobody in the hall, but you look down and you see like a couple days worth of left food and supplies and a little badge, like brooch thing that has a bear skull with cog eyes. It's on fire with a scimitar and a scythe behind it. And you're like, huh. You now have the pin of the tribe. I think that's what we're calling it. So, Zosie, as you as you make your way into your room and you pull out these big scrolls of paper from this tome, you throw out these 4 pages and you start looking at them. And I want you to give me 4 different. I'm trying to think of what I want you to give. Give me 4 different wisdom checks. Okay.
1. All the options roll wisdom saves.
Oh, the check. If you just go like a little bit to the left and go down to wisdom, those will be the actual checks. If the modifiers, if there's no difference between the modifier on the saves and the modifier on the actual checks, it's fine. Okay. 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 And one more. Okay. So, the first one, as you start to read through it, you're kind of entranced. As you start to look through, you can't necessarily understand what the runes and markings mean per se, but you kind of get an idea what the charts and the depictions are annotating. You see pictures of, you see motifs of snakes and serpents. You see one, two, three different versions of a serpent. You see a circle drawn, kind of depicting, you would think, a world or something. You see a serpent inside, coiled up with 5 heads. You see one on the surface with just, it seems like it's just like it's bipedal almost. It's strange to explain. And then there's one that takes to the skies and looks much more like, you know of what a dragon is, and this one looks a bit more like a dragon. Different serpents of different variations. You get an idea that whatever this tome, this magic is, has something to do with, this particular page has something to do with a story being told or a historical recounting. On the second page, it gets a bit harder to decipher. It's a lot more charts. It seems like it's star charts. You can't necessarily pick out what it is, and it becomes rather boring. Just for you, it becomes boring, and that boredom kind of leaks onto the third page, where there's no pictures, there's no drawings, there's nothing really there that catches your eye. But on the fourth page, your fourth page is where your interest gets drawn back in. You can read most of this page, and it tells you of a place that feels like home. It's a place of bluish, greenish woods with soft purple and pink lights kind of emanating from the trees. There's a beautiful aroma of sweet berries and fruits and like cooked pastries just constantly lingering in the air, and leads your nose in all different directions. And you're walking through this wood and through this forest, and you're just seeing all of these little delicious little treats left and right. They're all walking around like they've got arms and legs and hands and feet, and they're just kind of wandering around and minding their own business. And you're so much bigger than these little pastry pies and little pastry fruits. And you just kind of lean over and you grab one and you chomp, and it's delicious. And you're walking through this forest, and it winds left and right, and these little pastry beings are just running away. You know, it looks like they're screaming and pointing and running, but you're just like, he's really good. Who is in Fort Lockjaw right now? I think Gaia and Jeff are in Fort Lockjaw currently. Crash is out and about. I think Crash is still at the beach. Um, Guy and Jeff, you hear screaming and calls for arms happening on the upper levels. There's alarm bells ringing throughout Fort Lockjaw as men are scrambling to get to their where they need to be. What do you do?
Yeah, I mean, I guess we follow the source of it.
Okay. So as you make your way following the crowds as you run up the stairs, you run up one flight, two flights, and you make your way to the hallway where most of the living quarters for the Misfit tribe is. And at the end of the hall, you see past about 10 to 15 men just kind of like holding back from fear. You see it. And Zozie, you see now all of a sudden you're surrounded by a whole army of little fruit pastry men and people. There's eclairs, there's little cakes, there's a little Pop-Tart looking people. Some of them look like
Pop-Tarts.
yeah, exactly. Some of them look like just any myriad of delicious snack that you could want. And they're holding little sticks and candy canes and toothpicks and things like that to try to hold you at bay, but you're just so much bigger. Gaia and Jeff, you watch as this hulking, furry abomination, this 10, 12-foot tall creature with a owl face, but a bear's body, reach over and grab one of the smaller pirates and just bite into his upper torso, and just torrents of blood start to pour out of him. And Zozie is a delicious cherry pastry.
Tasty.
Oh, Jesus.
Sorry, I'm also really high right now.
Perfect.
Okay, me too.
Guy and Jeff, what do you do?
I'm going to cast command
Ooh, okay.
at the second level.
Oh shit! All right.
And
Spell slash second level. How you can affect one additional. So it doesn't affect the DC. It just affects an additional creature.
oh,
I mean, you can still cast it
Okay.
second level.
because I'm just gonna target Zusi, and I think I'm gonna go with Grovel. Yeah.
Okay. Zozie, can you give me a Wisdom saving throw? Jeff, what's your spell save DC?
My spell save DC is 14.
Oh. Zozie, as you bite into this cherry pastry, you just hear the words.
Actually, no, I'm gonna go with drop. I don't know why I didn't do that. I'm also
Alright.
kind of high. Yeah, drop.
All right. Something in this strange forest of pastry men. You just hear a voice, a familiar voice, say, "Drop." And you do. You drop the pastry that you had just bitten into, and you see several of the other little
Oh,
cakes.
what a good boy.
Several of the other little cakes come in and grab it and pull it away and start to perform a triage on it. What else? The target. Okay. Anything else? I'd say for the sake of this instance.
I mean, because
is
who
it-
hasn't performed emergency rescue operations on a pastry before?
on a Pop-Tart, yeah, exactly. Zozie, you drop this sweet, and you're just kind of looking around, trying to figure out where it is that you heard this voice. And as you look through some of the dense shrubbery down to your right, past where you think this voice came from, you see a familiar set of red eyes just kind of looking at you from behind a tree with like a gleeful little grimace in them. And you just hear that same familiar kind of hoo-hoo as they back behind a branch. And Jeff and Gaia, you are still in the middle of a hallway with a hulking abomination of a creature you're not familiar with that has just dropped one of the smaller sailors and is just kind of like looking around, just kind of aimlessly.
Oh no, is my headphones doing this thing again?
No,
Okay.
I can hear you.
Okay. You said the red eyes laughing guy, he just like left, or he like dipped off behind something.
Mm-hmm.
Zozie's gonna go try to chase him.
Okay. Jeff, as the abomination, this owl-faced abomination, looks in your direction, it seems to register something that you can't see, and it begins to charge. And Zozie, you just barrel through all of these tiny little pastry men. Guy and Jeff, give me a dexterity saving throw. 11 and a 25. Zozie, what is your strength score?
It's a 14.
14? Okay. Gaia, you are unfortunately caught in the wake of this beast as it just barrels through this whole crowd as it initially starts bipedal and then starts running on all fours, and it begins to push you out of the way, and you're just crushed up against the wall. As Jeff, you're able to dodge out of the way as this thing just tries to slide down the stairwell. And Zozie, you're running down this small hill that kind of leads into a large tree that's caverned out and is spiraling downwards. And you can just hear this the whole way down as you're running. And you can see just glimpses of like hands and feet. They're long, lanky limbs. Think of how like the Grinch, the Jim Carrey Grinch's like fingers looked in that movie, like just kind of like that, but like very bark-like and almost like covered in fern and moss, and just as you're running down and you're following it through, and there's more pastry men, they're everywhere here, and you come out of this huge tree and you look out into, you see a large lake, and it's nighttime out. It's nighttime, and it's a bluish grayish hue to the sky. It's like the sun has just started to go down. There's 1 moon, 2 moons, 3 moons. And you look out onto the water. The water is a blood red. And there are these orange and purplish lights floating all around. Small wisps. And as you look down this hill, where this great tree behind you, it's almost like a stump, a large broken stump. You can see the shape kind of dip behind another bush. These large red eyes peer back at you again. and you hear a voice in the back of your head. It says, "Oh, Zozie, you're going to have so much fun." And as it kind of breathes this red mist back to you, you watch it, you track it as it kind of makes figure eights in the sky, and it wafts up towards you, and like a calm, like a kind embrace, it kind of brushes against just under your nose. And it's the sweetest aroma of strawberries and cranberries and sweets and tarts. And the smell makes you close your eyes. And as you breathe out, you're standing in front of Fort Lockjaw, surrounded by pirates with spears and blade pointed at you. In the middle of the day. And you have no idea how you got here from where you were. Gaia and Jeff, as you follow the crowd down to Zozie, or where Zozie is now, where there was no Zozie before, but just this large abomination, you see that Zozie has changed. Zozie now has bird-like eyes, and around a majority of his neck, there's sporadic patches of feathering and feather-like markings. See that his hands have kind of, where there would be normal bear-like paws, they're now more talon-esque. And his muzzle is a bit sharper, if that makes sense to describe. Zozie, you see Gaia and Jeff, who you've been traveling with for a little while now, through the crowd of very angry-looking sailors and pirates.
Those you got the games.
It's me. I'm not a wild bear. It's me, Zozie. See, I've got my where's my top hat? My monocle. Jeff, Gaia, a little help here, please.
Damn, silence from the homies. Okay, how do you do that?
I don't know. There were Pop-Tarts and cakes everywhere. And this tall, funny-looking guy. And then there were, like, moons. There were 3 moons. It was really weird. And now I'm here, and these guys are trying to stab me.
It's a bunch of just sailors that you've kind of seen mulling around Fort Lockjaw as a whole. Guards, patrols. You've seen them in passing. You don't know their names, but you've seen their faces at the very least. All wielding different variations of martial weapons and simple weapons, short swords, scimitars, spears, short bows, crossbows, all just kind of trained on Zozie right now. Okay. Okay. All right. So these 3 lights emanate from Gaia and just kind of float underneath some of these sailors and begin to orbit Zozie. Zozie, you have these soft, whitish bluish lights just kind of orbiting you, kind of like little planets almost, or little star formations. There's about 10 to 20 sailors in between you and Zozie. After a few very tense seconds, there's a call from the back of one crowd as Luca begins to push her way in, and says, "What is going on? What has happened?" Okay.
I guess Jeff
Like
is
pause in the air, looking at everyone really afraid.
What's Jeff doing?
I guess just following.
Gotcha. What is all this commotion? I don't know. Zozie, where have you been? One of the sailors says, this one just tried to took a bite out of one of our boys. And turns back to Zozie, says, what? A pastry? What are you talking about? I do not know that. At that moment, there's a bit of commotion at the group that's surrounding from the front, as a large, imposing figure, a dragonborn male of onyx, black scales, pushes his way to the front and draws his war pick, and almost immediately puts it up to Zozie's neck and says, "Your crew has about 5 seconds to give me a reason to not take your head off right now."
God,
We got this. We have this handled. I'd roll, but I just realized I hadn't updated my character sheet, so that's why I've been quiet, because I've been trying to figure out a college real fast.
Oh, no worries.
Yeah. Do you want me to roll a d20 for persuasion?
Sure. Give me a persuasion check.
Okay. You can double check my bonus, but I'm pretty sure it's 8.
Damn. Plus 18. So, yeah. Chorn very slowly brings the war pick down. Says, "You have 10 seconds."
Well, since this person is our responsibility, we're gonna conduct our own investigation. And until you can find us written authority giving you jurisdiction over us, buzz off. So, and then I'm gonna try to box Zozie away.
Luca Luca says, as much as confused as I am, he does make a point, Chorn. It's the crew's problem first, and then we bring it to the island. He has a point. And Chorn is gonna let Zozie be walked away. As he sheaths his war pick on his back, says, "Just don't be a problem. We have enough. All right."
totally fine. No problems here. Guys, let's go, please. And someone tell me what the hell's happening.
All right. So, with that, I think that's going to be probably a good place to pin it until next week, because it is 10:30, and yeah, I think it's a good spot to pick up from there. Um, so for the sake of, I guess everyone kind of knowing, we had another reclass. Zozie is making a slight career shift. Um, Leaning into that barbarian. So many puns in there.
Such a good combo.
Zozie
I'm
is
surprised it's not like I guess it's not like as game breaking or as meta as like the barbarian monk, but god damn is it fun.
Zozie is now a 3 levels in barbarian, 2 levels in bard, and is now a path of the beast, I believe. Path of the wild beast. So
We're 5th level?
Wait, we're 5th level?
congratulations, 5th level.
Huh.
Nice. Surprise!
Yeah, that I let it slip to Zozie, and then I don't think Nat picked it up immediately. But yeah, that was the plan. After this session, everyone's going to be 5th level. So level yourselves up to 5 as you see fit. Remember that if you are multi-classing or decide to multi-class, you have to have at least a 13 in that class's primary skill to pick up that multi-class. Yeah, so that was our session this week. Zozie, I will be able to assist you with how to properly adjust. It's actually pretty easy. If you go into your level up character mancer, hit plus on additional classes, and then put 3 levels into barbarian, and move your levels in bard down to 2, it should fix itself. You will lose your bard subclass, but you'll pick up your barbarian subclass.
No, it's only like adding levels.
Oh, it only adds levels? Okay, we might have to level 1 character mancer Zozie, which is going to be fine. And then we'll just start him out from barbarian, and then we'll pick up bard. Yeah, we can do that. Here, I can actually click through that really quick, and I'll get you set up at the end to where you'll be able to finagle with it and get what you want. But I'll just set you up
For now, then.
Yeah, just go ahead and back out. Just cancel out, and then I'll fix it. I'll set it up. So, but yeah, that is our session. So just to clarify, and just to confirm, go into the dredge.
Yep.
Go into the dredge. All right, that gives me a good idea of what I need to come up with for next time. All right. All right. So, any cries, concerns, cries of outrage, concerns, criticisms, questions, anything like that for the class before we officially wrap up?
No, I think I'm good. Although I just went through my character mancer thing and it brought me to level 4, so I'll just touch base
Right,
with you.
so you have to copy paste from the Gunslinger wiki
Yes,
page.
so I'll just touch base with you real briefly, and I think other than that, it'll be fine.
Gotcha. All right. I'm gonna. No, you don't need to. If you want to, you can, but you don't have to. If you want to multi-class into another class, you have to have at least 13. Your ability score has to be at least 13 for that class that you're picking up, their primary stat. So say you want to go Warlock. You have to have at least 13 charisma to multi-class Warlock. Same with like if you want to multi-class monk, which I think is ranger. Ranger I think is wisdom. I think it's wisdom.
You were level 5, right?
Yes.
Okay, it's giving me the option to go up to 6, so I will look at this.
Yeah. Yeah. It should just be 5. If you accidentally go too high in level, you might just have to reset the character mancer to 1, and then re-level yourself back up, which shouldn't be too much of a problem because most of the stuff auto-populates itself.
Right. Great game. I'm gonna drop out.
Yeah, gotcha. See you next time. Yes, what's up? Ranger 1. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Bye, Crash.
To be able to actually multi-class. Give me 1 second. I'm fixing Zozi's sheet right now.
I muted. Hey Tom,
Yes.
does Sozi still get that weapon that we talked about?
Not yet. Not quite. We'll work on it when we yeah, just not yet. We'll go one thing at a time right now. In terms of me kind of sorry, I'm literally thinking of like 8 different things all at the same time. So just bear with me
Totally.
for lack
You're
of
totally
a
fine.
better word. Okay, Zozi, you should be set up. I'm gonna go ahead and close out your character sheet right now. You should be set up and you should be good to click through and choose what you want to fix your character sheet. So you're gonna have some new features and new abilities. And you're definitely gonna be playing a little bit differently than you were before. But in terms of that weapon that we were discussing, you get martial weapon proficiency, so you can have that. That's up to you, totally. Oh wait, what's up? What's up, Chad? So you would need. So we're only gaining 1 point currently, 1 level. If you take Ranger now, in 2 more levels, you can pick up Gloomstalker as a subclass. I would allow. It is part of Ranger, but it would come farther down the road with Ranger. You pick your subclass at your 3rd level of that class that you're leveling up. Okay, I gotcha. And I did want to clarify, Zozi kind of made the last bit of a cutoff for reclasses. I feel like we've all kind of had more than enough sessions to kind of play test and get an idea of what we wanted our builds to be for our characters and like our concepts. I'm going to kind of pump brakes on hard reclasses and like, essentially rebirthing from here on out. So like kind of going forward, if you want to pick up a multi-class and like work on that multi-class, sure, we can do that. But I'm gonna pump brakes on shuffling levels around majorly because I think we've had more than enough sessions to figure out how we want to play our characters. So yeah, Zozi, you should be good to set up your barbarian however you'd like. Gaia, you took a level in Ranger, from my understanding. And then Sadi, obviously going deeper into Fighter. Jeff, how's your sheet looking? Let me see what you've got going on. You said you accidentally went up to 6?
Knocked out of it, but I still have the option to continue leveling up. I'm not sure why, but I think
Oh,
that might be because I never like completed the feats because um I hadn't picked a college until 5 minutes ago.
okay.
So
Damn,
yeah,
you were raw dogging all those fucking encounters with no college.
I mean,
I was wondering why you didn't have as many feats as you should have. So I was
here we go.
confused.
Okay, so how many more do I need to pick up? If I pick
Uh,
College of, I'm gonna be different and be College of Lore this time instead of College of Valor.
okay. So College of Lore, I don't. Hang on, let me get into your. I mean, I think it's just like the passive like class feats, not like level up feats that I'm looking at. Because I figured, I guess Bard. I'm just not used to playing Bard, so I don't know how many you get per like subclass level up. Because everyone else has like you have to scroll down their sheet to see all of their feats, but yours is just like a chunk.
Yeah,
I guess that's just the way of things.
I think I need to take 3 more skill proficiencies to bring it up to 6.
Okay.
Is that about right? And then
Uh,
I don't see cutting words showing up, but
hmm.
maybe I do need to like reset my character sheet.
Yeah, it might. I mean, it might help. It'll keep all of your stats and everything like that. And
Okay.
if you just refresh it back to 1 and then power level yourself back up to 5, it should reset anything that might be wrong with it. So for a run back on what we acquired, the orb seemed to have developed a map system of the island, or the atoll at least. So that was weird. You got a bag of holding, which is in Sadi's possession. Sadi is the bag of holding, the Grand Duchy of the Bag of Holding. Um, we have our pins of the tribe, which is your little magic walkie talkies for Zozie. That means that you can communicate with anybody else that is wearing one of these pins as long as they are within 120 feet from you.
Wait, sorry, Tom. How do you reset your level? I tried doing it
Yeah.
and now it's just giving me 5th level stats and it says it's
Uh.
on level 1.
Oh, weird. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me get in here. See if I can do it. You did the. Oh yeah, no. So that's right. That's yeah. Those are all your ability scores, and it just reset you from level 1. Um. Yeah,
Hold
that's
on, let
the.
me complete it. Maybe I'm seeing something else. No, it's still showing me 45 hit points, but okay. I mean,
Mm,
I guess I'll just
hang
change
on.
that down.
I'm gonna finagle it a little bit. So I'm gonna.
Whatever you think is fair.
Yeah. I'll drive here for a second. So let me boop you back to 1. Okay, so review, apply changes. Oh shit. Okay, your spell should still be good. And then we go to a plus. Fifth level, Bardic College, Bardic College of Lore. Features. Yeah, if you want to go through and like re-choose your expertise and your bonus proficiencies and all that, um, I think you get some. I think you get your ASIs, or that should already be. Yeah, and I guess you would have to re-choose your ASIs, your ability score increases, and your spells. It's probably going to be the only way to. Oh wait, let me put you back on re-choose your proficiencies. There we go. Yeah. Anybody need any clarification on anything? Because I feel like we kind of covered. There's a lot that was covered. Anyone need me to double back on a point order or anything like that, just to help something make sense if something didn't make sense.
It's an interesting set of rolls. 3 8s and a 1.
Hmm.
D8s.
Oh wow.
Right? Okay, I should have everything right.
Sure. What's up, Chad? Mm-hmm. That's a visual bug happening. I don't know why it does that with the character sheet sometimes. Let me get into your. Mm-hmm. Yes, you should be able to pick a level 3 spell, and when druids level up, you can reselect your known spells. So you have all of the spells available on your spell list. It's just that every time you level up, you get to re-choose what you can choose, essentially. And you now have access to a third level, if you would like one. So it's essentially telling you, hey, you can reselect your druid spells. You can add. There's 5, yeah. And then 6 of 8. So yeah, you can choose 2 more spells, it looks like. Zozie, you got anything?
No, I think I've like read through everything, so I think I've got it.
I will give you a rough version of the thing that we talked about, because it's basically here we go. I will give you this. It'll say that you just kind of find this in your top hat. So that'll be in your inventory. Whew, okay. So Zozie, you're gonna be, as a barbarian, you play a lot differently. Yeah, you definitely play a lot differently. You want to be very on top of using your rage, which is like your big. I don't know if you remember how Torg was doing it. He was, using his rage and doing things that way. Rage does a lot of really good things. Lots of damage reduction.
It's the big red button.
Yep, it's the big red button. You also get a thing called Reckless Attack, which is also very good, and Danger Sense, which is going to help save your butt a good amount of times. Essentially, your Psychic Blades has kind of been replaced with Rage damage. It's a bit more consistent damage, but it's just a lot lower. I'll also have to add in all of your Path of the Beast attack rolls that you can do as different attack abilities. So it's you've got a couple that you can do. You've got 2 things that you can do with your bite now. Your bite is actually really interesting. When you damage a creature with this bite, you regain a number of hit points equal to your proficiency bonus, provided you have half of your hit points, less than half of your hit points when hit. So you can basically like life steal with a good bite.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's perfect. Zozie does enjoy biting.
True. Okay. Sadi gets extra attack, which is very interesting, unless Sadi decided to multi-class too.
No, I'm kind of stuck on this whole war architect
There we
thing.
go. The gunslinger.
A battle engineer, something like that.
So yeah, I think you do get extra attack at 5th level. I know that for sure. I'm pretty sure that's the only feat that you pick up at 5th, but you get your HP bonus and one of the best passive feats that you could get, or a martial class could ask for at this point. So I think everyone's in a pretty healthy spot.
Yeah, whenever I take the attack action on my turn, I can take an extra attack. That's ridiculous, especially because with my feet, I don't have the reloading action.
Exactly. You don't have to reload. That's why that's really, really strong. That's like a super good feat to pick up. Like, you picked the best possible feat that you could have at 4th level. But yeah, you don't have to, when it comes to like extra attack, you don't have to direct that second attack at the same target. So, kind of like I was doing with some of those ogres back in Durgod, if you have like a multi-attack action, you can attack one thing once and attack another thing once, or you can attack the same thing twice. Like, got options.
Yeah, and I have enough HP now. I think I can take a hit.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure Sadi still should be the tankiest person in the crew. If I'm remembering this right. Well, Jeff's pretty high. Zosie's okay. What Crash? How high is Crash? Crash is high too. Goddamn. What about Gaia? What's Gaia just secretly have? Oh no. Okay.
But
Oh, actually, no. Goddamn, Gaia's high as fuck too. I'm pretty sure. Oh yeah, no. Sadi has the highest HP by like a large margin.
I mean, I have been leveling in fighter after all.
Yeah, that's
And
true.
I did give my constitution a decent bonus.
The Constitution's definitely good, and I would also recommend like Zosie. Once we hit 8th level, maybe, is when you get your next ability score increase. I would probably put some points into Constitution as a barbarian, because that's definitely going to help your health. That's going to help your health pool a lot. It should have on your level up. It would. Oh, you mean points? So yeah, ability score increases happen at 4th, 8th, 12th, and 16th level. And I think 20th actually. Yeah, 4th, 8th, 12th, 16th, and 20th. So every 4 levels, 4 character levels rather. So not 4 player levels. Or class levels rather. I might have to...
it's not per class level, it's per character level.
Yeah. So if you're if you've got 4 levels in
the night,
or like 5 levels in fighter and 3 levels in druid, you would still do 2 ASI increases or choose 2 feats, whichever you prefer.
Thank you guys.